Ladies and gentlemen, there is a silent war being fought every day. It's not in battlefields or boardrooms, but in the quiet corners of homes, workplaces, and the depths of the human soul. It's the battle of a woman who stands alone, unsupported, but unyielding. Imagine the weight she carries. Society hands her a long list of expectations to be a caretaker, a provider, a nurturer, and yet somehow still find the time to have it all. The world whispers, you must succeed, but don't make too much noise about it. And when the support she seeks doesn't come, the whispers turn to silence. But let me tell you something remarkable about these women. When the world refuses to stand beside them, they become their own pillar. They discover reserves of strength within themselves that they never thought existed. Solitude doesn't break them, it sharpens them. They learn to endure, to sacrifice, and to fight harder than most of us ever will. Think about this. Every step forward they take is like climbing a mountain with no one to hold the rope. And yet they climb, they don't stop. Not because it's easy, but because they've realized the power of perseverance. These women teach us something profound. Strength isn't about never falling, it's about refusing to stay down. They show us that sometimes the most significant victories are the ones fought in silence, with no applause, no cheerleaders, and no safety nets. But here's the hard truth: resilience shouldn't have to mean going it alone. We live in a world where we like to talk about equality and empowerment. Yet, what are we doing to truly stand with these women? Are we offering them the recognition, the support, the encouragement they need, or are we just watching from the sidelines, applauding their strength but ignoring their struggle? It's time we change that. It's time we stand up, not out of pity, but out of respect. Respect for the battles they fight, respect for the sacrifices they make, and respect for the extraordinary strength they embody. To every woman fighting a silent battle right now, know this: your strength does not go unnoticed. You are the unsung heroes of this world, the architects of change and the embodiment of courage. And to everyone else, let's be better. Let's build a world where no woman has to fight her battles alone. Because when we stand together, no struggle has to remain silent, and no victory has to go unseen. In every corner of the world, there exists a quiet resilience and unspoken strength that often goes unnoticed and unacknowledged. It is the silent struggle of women, the battles they fight every single day in isolation without recognition or support. These struggles are not written about in history books, nor are they celebrated in the media. Yet they are real, profound, and transformative. Consider for a moment the expectations society places on women. From an early age, many are conditioned to shoulder immense responsibilities that extend far beyond their own lives. They are often expected to be caregivers, nurturers, breadwinners, and emotional anchors all at once. And while fulfilling these roles, they are frequently left to battle societal prejudices, cultural norms, and systemic inequalities. These struggles often remain invisible because women are conditioned to bear them in silence. A single mother working multiple jobs to provide for her children, never allowing her exhaustion to show. A young woman sacrificing her dreams to care for aging parents because society tells her it's her duty. A professional woman working twice as hard to prove her worth in a male-dominated industry, knowing her achievements may never receive the same recognition as her peers. These are just a few examples of the silent battles women face. What makes these struggles particularly challenging is the isolation that often accompanies them. Women are frequently left without the support they need, whether it's emotional, financial, or systemic. The very structures that should uplift them, family, community, workplace, and government, can sometimes fail them entirely. And when they seek help or speak out, they risk being labeled as weak or ungrateful, further discouraging them from voicing their challenges. Yet, despite this lack of support, women endure. They push forward with remarkable strength, often finding ways to navigate their challenges on their own. Their resilience is a testament to their character, but it also highlights a troubling reality. The world expects women to fight these battles silently and to do so without complaint. The silent struggles of women are not limited to one culture, one country, or one socioeconomic group. They are universal. They transcend borders and barriers, manifesting in different ways, but rooted in the same fundamental issue: a lack of recognition and equitable support. This invisibility has far-reaching consequences. It perpetuates a cycle where women's challenges remain unaddressed, their contributions undervalued, and their potential stifled. By failing to acknowledge their struggles, society not only denies women the support they deserve, but also deprives itself of the full spectrum of talent, innovation, and leadership that women bring to the table. It is time to break this silence. The world must begin to listen, to recognize, and to act. Women's struggles should not remain hidden in the shadows. They should be brought to the forefront, where they can be addressed with the empathy, understanding, and action they require. Because when we acknowledge and support these silent struggles, we not only empower women, but also create a stronger, more just, and more compassionate society for all. Strength is often misunderstood. It is not always loud or visible, and it does not always announce itself with grand gestures. True strength is quiet, steady, and unwavering, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. Nowhere is this strength more evident than in the lives of women who endure and persevere without external support. These women demonstrate incredible resilience, finding ways to thrive even when the world seems indifferent to their struggles. To stand alone is not easy, yet countless women find themselves in this position every day. They are the single mothers raising children while juggling multiple jobs with no partner to lean on and no family to help. They are the young professionals climbing career ladders in male-dominated industries, striving to succeed without mentors or allies. They are the caregivers who sacrifice their own dreams to care for loved ones, often without so much as a word of acknowledgement. In these moments of solitude, women discover a strength they may not have known they possessed. It is a strength born out of necessity, forged in the fire of hardship. When there is no one else to rely on, they learn to rely on themselves. They develop resilience not because they want to, but because they must. What is remarkable about this strength is how multifaceted it is. It is mental, emotional, and physical. It takes mental fortitude to keep going when the odds are stacked against you, to plan and problem solve in the face of limited resources. It takes emotional resilience to withstand the loneliness that often accompanies solitude, to battle self-doubt and fear while projecting confidence to the outside world. It takes physical strength to endure the sleepless nights, long hours, and relentless pace of a life without backup. This strength in solitude is not just about survival, it is about growth. Women in these situations often become more resourceful, more self-reliant, and more empathetic. They learn to navigate challenges with creativity and grit, turning obstacles into opportunities. They emerge from their struggles not just stronger, but wiser. However, it is essential to recognize that this resilience comes at a cost. No one should have to fight alone. The strength these women demonstrate is admirable, but it is also a reflection of a society that too often fails to provide the support they need. While their solitude highlights their resilience, it also underscores the gaps in our systems, gaps in family structures, workplaces, and communities. We must celebrate the strength women show in solitude, but we must also work to ensure they are not left to face their battles alone. Strength is not about never needing help, it is about persevering when help is absent. By acknowledging their struggles and providing support, we can create an environment where women's resilience is complemented by solidarity. Let us honor the strength of these women, not just with words, but with action. Let us build a world where their battles are shared, their burdens are lightened, and their strength is no longer tested by solitude, but celebrated in community. True power does not come from external forces, it comes from within. It is rooted in resilience, fueled by determination, and sparked by a profound belief in one's own capacity to overcome. Women around the world exemplify this truth, showing us what it means to find inner power in the face of adversity. Life often throws challenges that test our limits, but for many women, these challenges can be relentless. They face societal expectations, cultural norms, financial constraints, and personal hardships, all while striving to carve out their own identity and purpose. And yet, time and time again, women rise. They rise not because someone offers them a hand, but because they discover an untapped reservoir of strength within themselves. Inner power is not something we are born knowing we have, it is something we discover. For women, this journey of discovery often begins when adversity strikes. When the odds seem insurmountable, and when there is no one else to turn to, they look inward. It is in these moments of solitude and struggle that they realize their potential. Think of the countless single mothers who balance the demands of work and parenting, often on shoestring budgets, yet still manage to provide their children with love, stability, and hope. Consider the survivors of abuse who find the courage to leave toxic environments, rebuild their lives, and in many cases advocate for others. Reflect on the women who break barriers in male-dominated fields, proving not just to the world but to themselves that they belong. These examples are not just stories of survival, they are stories of transformation. The women in these situations tap into their inner power and, in doing so, redefine what is possible for themselves and others. They learn to trust their instincts, set boundaries, and create opportunities where none seem to exist. They discover that while the world may not always be fair, they have the ability to shape their own path. What is truly inspiring about inner power is that it grows the more it is used. Every challenge overcome becomes a stepping stone to greater confidence and self-belief. The more women lean into their inner strength, the more unstoppable they become. They stop waiting for permission or validation from others and instead become their own source of encouragement. But finding inner power is not always easy. It requires a willingness to confront fear, doubt, and insecurity. It demands patience and perseverance, especially when the journey feels lonely or the progress slow. However, the reward is immeasurable. Once a woman recognizes her own strength, it can never be taken away. This is a reminder to every woman your inner power is real. It may feel dormant at times, but it is there, waiting to be awakened. Trust in your ability to overcome, to adapt, and to thrive. Let adversity be the catalyst that reveals your resilience, and let your resilience light the way forward. To the world, let us celebrate this inner power. Let us create environments where it is nurtured, not stifled. And let us be inspired by the countless women who every day show us that true power comes from within. In every corner of society, women are fighting battles that often go unnoticed. They balance the weight of family responsibilities, career ambitions, personal dreams, and societal expectations, all while navigating systems that are not always designed to support them. Despite these challenges, women have demonstrated incredible resilience, strength, and ingenuity. However, resilience alone should not be the answer. It is time for society to step up, to acknowledge these struggles, and to provide the support and solidarity that women not only need but deserve. When we talk about supporting women, it is essential to recognize the breadth of what this entails. Support is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It involves understanding the unique challenges women face in different contexts, cultural, economic, professional, and personal, and addressing them in meaningful ways. Consider the workplace. Women have made remarkable strides in professional fields, but they are still underrepresented in leadership positions, underpaid, compared to their male counterparts, and often subjected to discrimination or harassment. Support in this context means creating equitable opportunities, ensuring equal pay, implementing zero-tolerance policies for harassment, and providing mentorship programs that help women climb the professional ladder. Changing these narratives requires a concerted effort in media, education, and public discourse. It means showcasing diverse representations of women in books, movies, and advertisements, representations that highlight their strength, intelligence, and independence. It means teaching young boys and girls about gender equality, challenging stereotypes, and encouraging them to dream beyond societal expectations. One of the most significant barriers to supporting women is deeply ingrained cultural narratives. These narratives often frame women as secondary, their roles confined to caregiving or support functions, rather than leadership or innovation. Corporate leaders must also step up. Companies that invest in women through fair hiring practices, leadership development programs, and family-friendly policies are not only supporting their female employees but also positioning themselves for long-term success. Research consistently shows that organizations with diverse leadership teams perform better financially and are more innovative. Educational institutions have a role to play as well. By promoting gender equity in schools and universities, we can challenge stereotypes from a young age and empower future generations of women to reach their full potential. Systemic change is crucial for sustainable support. This begins with strong policies and leadership that prioritize gender equality. Governments must enact and enforce laws that protect women's rights, from equal pay legislation to protections against domestic violence and harassment. In practical terms, solidarity can take many forms. It can be men advocating for equal pay and parental leave policies in their workplaces. It can be communities rallying around survivors of gender-based violence to provide them with the resources and support they need. It can be organizations committing to diversity and inclusion initiatives that elevate women's voices and talents. Solidarity begins with empathy. It means listening to women's stories without judgment, seeking to understand their struggles and standing with them in their fight for justice and equality. It means recognizing that gender inequality affects everyone and that addressing it benefits society as a whole. Solidarity is the foundation of meaningful support. It requires a collective effort, men and women, governments and organizations, families and communities working together to create a more equitable world. When society acknowledges women's contributions, it not only validates their experiences but also inspires others to follow their lead. It creates a ripple effect, encouraging more women to step into their power and pursue their goals. Acknowledgement starts with simple acts, thanking the women in your life for the roles they play, celebrating their achievements, and recognizing their struggles. On a larger scale, it means highlighting women's stories and contributions in history books, media, and public discourse. It means ensuring that their voices are heard and their efforts are visible. Acknowledgement is a critical, yet often overlooked, form of support. Women's contributions, whether at home, in the workplace, or in society, are frequently taken for granted. This lack of recognition can be deeply demoralizing. In broader society, support involves creating systems and policies that uplift women. This includes access to quality healthcare, affordable childcare, education opportunities, and legal protections against gender-based violence. It also means amplifying women's voices in political and social spheres, ensuring they have a say in decisions that affect their lives and communities. In the home, support often means redistributing responsibilities more fairly. Women disproportionately bear the burden of caregiving and household management even when they work full-time. Societal expectations reinforce this imbalance, often leaving women overworked and undervalued. True support begins with challenging these norms and encouraging shared responsibilities within families.